What's up, guys? All right, so today I have the pleasure of basically trying to understand what is the Porsche hype, okay? As you guys know, I have a Vanquish and I've recently got it. And I ran into the owner of this vehicle who's gonna be on camera here. This is Attila.
How you doing, guys?
And, you know, we literally, I saw the car, he was pulling by me, he parks it. We ended up getting into about a 30-minute chat, right? About the vehicle, and we got into a little bit about, you know, what makes Porsche special. Why is Porsche so hot right now? It's probably the most in-demand car out there, even through COVID and everything else, right? And it's interesting because the value prop of a GT3, specifically the 996, is that they're actually appreciating right now, and they've been appreciating for quite a while. Frankly, the value of a Vanquish, which is, you know, V12, naturally aspirated, hand-built, right, is almost the same now as a GT3. And we got into a conversation. I said, man, I got to experience this vehicle. I got to take it for a drive. If you're open to that, I'll show you the Vanquish, of course. But I want to understand, you know, what is the flat six? You know, is it in the way it feels with the engine in the back? Is it in the sound? Is it in the driving experience, the dynamics of the car? I've driven a couple of Porsches, but the last one I drove was a 997 Turbo, and it was a non-6-speed version. So I don't think I've necessarily driven the best of Porsche. So I've got this car right here we're gonna do today. And I'm gonna get Attila's thoughts on the vehicle here in a second. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like and comment. You know, I know the Porsche community is extremely detail oriented. I'll do my best not to mess up the horsepower, torque, 0 to 60 and all that fun stuff, okay, as we go along. I just wanted to share the car with you real quick. So this has, you know, all the right upgrades. It's got the carbon ceramics. It's got the Michelin tires. You know, this is a 04, correct?
Yeah, 04.
04. It's got the carbon fiber here. It's got the color contrast stitching, yellow seat belts, full carbon interior, light dials. It's got the Gen 2 wing. I mean, realistically, if you're going to get the GT3 of this generation, I think this is the best one, like the nicest combination you get, right? I mean, they make it silver's great. So
I think it's one of the prettiest ones. I think it gives the car shape a little bit more oomph. I like all colors, I mean, I really do, but this one stuck out at me when I saw it. And then of course, you know, I finally got to experience it. It was kind of love at first sight type of thing. So
now, how long did you want to own this vehicle before you got it?
Man, so
and you had another Porsche, right?
Yeah, I did. So I had an 05 Carrera S, which is obviously the first year of the 997s.
Yeah.
I've been a Porsche nut all my life. Just became fortunate enough to finally be able to afford one about 5-6 years ago. So I found that car.
And that was a 4S, right?
That was actually just the S, the base S,
okay.
The Carrera S. Big difference, obviously, being to me. I think you just described it, Adam. The overall feel of the cars, the experience of it. The engine. You can't speak enough about the engine. This thing is an absolute animal.
Now this has about 280 pounds of torque. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's about 280.
And 360, 370.
So the first gens were 360. The second gens were 380 to 400. They've been dynoed. A few of them they down. They were pretty high. I mean, they're quote unquote still the hand built ones, not fully like the 993s or 964s, but still very, very much motorsport derived.
Can we pop the hood?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now this has got the water cooled power plant, right?
Yeah.
This is not the first year they came out with the water cooled, right? That was 01, is that right?
Yeah. So
okay.
90. Let's see. So the 993s ended in. I think the last ones were made in 99, 98. So. The 996 version, which is the water cooled, when they switched over, was in, I think the first ones were in 99.
Right.
And then of course the platform, meaning the engine for this, goes all the way back to the GT1 Le Mans car from the 90s. The Metzger, you know, obviously you guys heard the name, right?
Yeah.
Porsche, the Metzger engines. This is obviously kind of it. And it's straight out of their Cup cars.
Now the last was it the 997? That was the last version they had, or was this the one that was the last version they had that engine?
The 997 was the last one.
And that was the .1, correct?
That was the point. Well, actually, I think both the 997.1 and .2 GT3s had the Metzgers.
Okay.
I think they switched over the engines to a newer motor with the 991s. And correct, I might be off on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm 100% sure that the 997 GT3s had it. The Dot 2s, I'm pretty sure, had the Metzgers too, and then, you know, kind of went from there.
This is the 3.6 though. Then they went to the 3.8, then they went to the 4.0, which is where they're still at right now, right?
Right, exactly.
So, but basically a very similar power plant. I mean, it's still a flat 6, right?
Yes.
So the pistons fire against each other, makes it very smooth. And the red line on this is 8250,
Yeah,
is that right?
8250. It does sing at 8250. I can tell you that. Again, it's one of the
I bet.
coolest things about this car. And again, being the Motorsport derived engine, there's a lot of differences between this motor and I love the base 997s, 996s. I mean, I'm a fan of all those cars. You can kind of tell the difference here, and then of course the numbers speak for themselves as far as weight and, you know, the interior, the inside of the motor, and so on. So the experience is incredible compared to let's just say some of the you know, some of the like the turbos. Is a completely different experience, right? You have a lot of thrust, a lot of punch.
Yeah. Now have you driven a turbo in comparison to this, being the naturally aspirated versus having the?
Yes, I have. Again, it's going to be a little bit of a different experience because the turbo weighs about anywhere between 200 to 300 pounds more in this car.
Does it?
Version.
Wow.
Well,
is that because all the water, like the intercoolers and the wider body and everything?
It's not. So it's a combination of things. It's what they took out of this car, interior wise, you know, suspension and everything like that. They sort of left and upgraded on the turbo.
I see. So it has the back seats and everything.
Right.
Makes
it has
sense.
the back seats. It's got the leather. It's got all the electronics and things like that.
So tell me, what do you think about the headlights here? The, you know, what do they call these? The egg?
So initially they called them the fried egg.
Fried egg, that's right.
The second, this is the second version of the fried egg, because the initial fried egg kind of sloped. So they started with these in the, I believe in the 02 turbos, I think, were the first ones to use it.
Yep.
And they kind of, you know, integrated that later on. And I might be off on the years, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll let you know.
They'll let me know, right? So this is kind of the second version of the headlights that we, you know, they called the fried egg headlights.
Yep.
I never had an issue with them personally. The only thing I didn't like about the original ones were the orange.
I agree. This looks good.
Yeah,
this actually doesn't look bad. It's actually aging really well here, the way they did that nice kind of design element.
Yeah, I like the way the car's front kind of, you know, obviously.
This is back in the day when they actually put an actual crest on it too. Now it's a sticker, right?
Well, they do a sticker on the RSs because, you know, it saves another 0.02
I know.
ounces.
I know, right? I mean, you know, it's getting a little crazy with the new ones.
You gotta love the Porsche guys when it comes to stuff like that. But,
well, I'm just as excited to drive yours though as I am to drive the new one, to be honest. And here's why. Typically, good brands with great pedigrees have great foundations, right? And this is one of the vehicles that is building on that lineage, right? I mean, this has to be good. Right? I mean, I don't see how it can't be. I'm really excited.
It's a different experience. I mean, look, it's a stiff suspension, you know, the clutch and the...
Is the clutch heavy?
The clutch is heavy.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to have the other reason I like this car a lot, because I love the Gen 2 cars, the 997s, all those cars.
Sure.
This was before all the computers kind of took over a little bit more.
Right.
This has ABS in it. That's it.
So no traction control.
No traction.
Interesting.
Traction controls here and here. So, that's one of
all
the
right. No auto blipping on the downshift.
Again,
I got spoiled on my ZL1.
Fabulous cars. I love the PDKs. I love all those things. But this is kind of taking it back. This is a little bit more of a throwback. To
hydraulics, right? Hydraulic everything. Brakes, suspension.
Yep.
You know, steering.
So
love it.
You're talking. It's going to be more of and I hate using cliches, but I'm sorry, guys. It's the more raw kind of driving experience. It's light compared to obviously a lot of the newer cars.
Sure.
It's stiff. You're either going to like it or you're going to hate it, because, you know, it's not. You know, some people are like, my God, it's too stiff. Well, again, if you get Porsches and you get what the driving experience is about, then you get it.
So what you're saying is this is not the one you want to daily drive. I mean, you could, but you probably don't want to.
Enough, I love it.
Yeah.
I would love to daily drive it. Obviously, I don't like driving it in crappy weather.
Sure.
I don't. And there's a lot of other people out there. Let me just say that that I'm scared of when I'm driving it.
Trust me, I drive this. I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm so paranoid of rock chips. So let's fire it up. We'll see how she sounds. All right.
On the left.
Oh, wow. You're right. That is stiff.
Le Mans style.
That is stiff.
Yes, it is.
All right. Interesting.
Fun fact: you're the first person to drive my car that's not me.
You'll be the second person to drive that car that's not me. Wow, that's a heavy clutch.
Yep.
You ain't kidding.
I told you.
Wow, that's unbelievably heavy. I would not want to daily that.
My calves get a workout.
Whoa, that's amazingly heavy. Wow.
Might be really good.
All right. Wow, that's an interesting bite point.
Yeah, it's low.
Take a left.
Straight.
All right. We're getting used to her.
Give it a few minutes.
Yep. Man, it's just unbelievably heavy.
Yeah, the clutch takes definitely gets some getting used to. If you haven't driven one of these cars, I get in cars now and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
what's
right.
wrong with your clutch?
Dude,
It's so light.
Okay. All right. So is it like more fuel and then kind of let off, or?
Yeah, I give it a little. What I do is I start giving it a little bit of a gas, and then I just let the clutch out.
Okay.
I usually start with the gas a little bit, but you kind of have your own driving style. You get your own thing. You know, what you're used to and what you like.
It's got a little bit of play in it, but not too. That's pretty good. And it's not adjustable. This is just the way it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, the angle of the steering wheel is. I think there's a little bit of give to it, but I never had to adjust it. The way I got it, it was actually perfect driving for me.
All right, left. Wow, that's high.
You gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay. It took me a minute too. Different. It's a little bit different than the 997.
You know, it's only got 280, 300 pounds of torque. It feels good. You know, it feels appropriate.
Yeah, the car. You know, the thing is, it's such a, again, shade over 3,000 pounds.
Ooh, it moves on you. Interesting. Wow, it does. It does move around, doesn't it?
Oh yes, it does. It does.
Oh yeah, this thing could get out from under you.
Oh, you put it in a corner.
Yeah, you better
wrong speed, and you
you better watch it. It's like driving a Viper. I had a V10 Viper, man. That thing, it'd kill you.
I can imagine. Well, like I said, you know, this is before like the traction control and anything like that. So you really kind of you gotta think when you're driving it too. That's maybe another reason I like to drive this car as much as I do. I love the newer cars too. I really do. I think they're wonderful, and it's just a completely different animal for something like this.
I totally get it. I absolutely understand. You know, I personally think that this is in a lot of ways better because of all the electronics and gimmicks and all that. Launch control.
Right.
You know, launch control is like trying to figure the clutch out, without burning it to the ground, and also, you know, not spinning your tires for days.
Yes, exactly.
So
it still has that analog, you know, the Porsche guys talk about that analog, you know, just the connection to the road, you feel everything type of thing.
Sure.
I think this still has that, you know, which, and I think when they got away from the driving system that they have, to more electronics, it kind of, you know, lost some of it. And again, love the new cars, but it's just different. It's different. It really is different.
It's lively, man. Jesus. It moves, you know.
Yep.
It does.
Like a car.
Yeah.
It's a different experience, man. It really is.
Wow. Right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Boy, I can't even imagine what this thing's gonna sound like near the top. Like it already sounds pretty good, you know. Jesus, I mean that's only halfway.
Yep.
I mean, it's so like the way it's tuned. You know, we're doing what 60 in third. We're halfway. Yeah, man. Woo! Wow, that made 100 feel real easy. Gosh. For being an 04, you know, it's got it.
You can go on exit if you want. Do whatever. It's fine.
Wow. I mean, yeah, there's your, wow. Oh, dude. Yeah, man. This is a great motor. I could see the hype, right?
Yeah.
From that point of view.
It really is. It's like, you know, the cliches that you listen to and people say this. I'm sorry. It is true.
All right, let's see if I want to just baby it though, you know.
Oh yeah, you can.
All right, so it'll do 70, 75 at 3. Nice and quiet now. There you go. Very good.
It's.
You could have a conversation in here now.
Yeah,
it's not that loud.
So, yeah, I'm not, you know.
I think you should keep it. I really do. I mean, if you can afford to, I think you'll never lose money. It's just a store of value.
Yeah, it'll be tough for me to sell this car. I don't know if I ever would, or even if I got, you know, some ridiculous offer and 5 years it's worth, you know, twice as much or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, hell, even in 6 it pulls. Wow. And this thing in a race car driver's hands, who's comfortable,
right?
That's a deadly weapon.
With the handling, with, you know, being as light, just the whole package, it's pretty.
Somebody who, you know, did you do a lot of auto blipping? You know, do you do heel toe a lot in this car?
I'm still trying to learn. So I'm an amateur when it comes to that stuff. I'll be honest. So I'm still trying to learn.
If it was mine, I obviously would do it a lot more. But I don't want to. I'm babying it. You know, I don't want to. We're gonna make sure that this car gets back in the same condition that I left the house with.
It's like,
shall we see what she's got? Without this turns a little bit. Woo! Shoot, man. Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. The clutch takes a little.
Gosh, this is great. I mean, you don't even need, you know, to get the power, you don't even really need to lay into it. It just linearly rubs, right? Yeah, it's really nice.
You know, if you want to give it, obviously it'll take it. But it's really fun in the entire rev range, right? You can, you know, I have a lot of fun with it doing 50 and doing, let's just say,
absolutely. It's great. It's got a beautiful power curve from 4 to 6, 7. It's just wonderful. And I can't even imagine 8. I mean, you're gonna run out of road before you get to 8.
Second and third is fun when you get to 8, because after that you're kind of, now we're talking about way arrest me speed. So
yes,
this stretch usually when I get on it on the highway, that's when I usually exercise a little bit of, you know, get the 8,000 RPMs out. Like I said.
All right, you want to do one run to show the guys? All right, one run, guys, to 8. All right, and the law enforcement, just forgive us. We're gonna do it in 4th. So. I didn't even go all the way. It had more.
It's
wow, this suspension though, you know.
Oh yeah.
You gotta let it play.
Gotta let it play. Remember, it's the rear engine bias there, you know.
I got the heart going, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I got it.
Do it,
right here. It's right here, right? Yeah, that
next one.
Oh, this is the next one. Okay. Yeah, I got off here last time.
I think either way.
Yeah, you had to make a right, but yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, that did it. That did it. I'm going. Yeah. Little sweat in the palms now, you know, the whole thing. Change the pants.
A little bit, yeah.
That's great, man.
Love this car.
I love the experience of it, you know. I mean, I knew it was good. I mean, it has to be good, right? Wow, what a great power plant. It's so, gosh, really usable power.
It is, you know, it's
380 horsepower. Feels more.
For a light car, it does really punch. You know, mean, you're talking about cars not having 400 or 500.
It punches above its weight class.
The actual owner drive the car now instead of my dumb butt. So let's see what he can do with it.
Now, obviously, we're gonna be
Yes, we both have children, 4 kids amongst us, so.
Let's see if I can. Let's do. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit of a run here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
So that's second and.
Damn, that thing hits.
It's
Wow. Hey, you can bang it. You can bang it.
It like I said, it really likes to be driven. It's one of those cars where, like you said, in traffic, no, it's not happy in traffic.
Yep.
It is not happy in traffic. You sit there and it's like, it's almost like, get me to.
Yeah, exactly. I need air. I need to be burning fuel, right? It's so fun to see how an owner pushes their car, right? To me, that's half the fun, right? In these videos. Wow, when you let off, it shimmies.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I always try to play with to see how the car behaves. You're kind of learning different things almost in every different corner, right? It's just to feel the shift of the balance of the car and so on.
I do notice the faster you go, though, the aero, you can feel the car planted, which is nice. Yeah, man. That's fun.
It's a fun little car, it really is. Like I said before, you're having a bad day and you get in here and you spend 5 minutes and it's like, okay.
Exactly.
We're good now.
And not harsh. Like, the suspension's actually surprisingly plush. Maybe that's because modern suspensions have gotten so much better, right? That's probably what it is, but
I think that's part of it. I think most people will still find it stiff compared to, kind of like your everyday drivers, right? And rightfully so. I mean, when you get...
I guess you're right. You do feel everything, but it's not harsh, though. I mean, considering this is one of their race cars, I mean, they did make an RS. I imagine the RS is even more, probably slightly lower profile, right? A little less rebound,
Yeah, and you got to remember, it's not like the Stone Age with technology. It's like 17 years.
It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah,
right? So I hear that.
It's an interesting. It's interesting to drive a newer car versus this one and see the progression of it, but it doesn't take away from the fun factor and what makes the car special to me anyway. It really does not. It's a completely driving experience, and
I actually think it's enhanced, like I said earlier, because it doesn't have all the driver aids, and you really got to watch your ass.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I felt it. Like, I'm like, whoa, it moves, and you're not even giving that much fuel, so. Man, when you bang that, jeez. I can't believe the clutch stays that heavy. It can take that kind of abuse. Really,
that's the
changes my perception of the whole car.
It's, and I don't want to jinx it, right? Because you never know. But,
right.
They're built
to beat on them.
I mean, you can take this thing to the track. You can drive it on the track, obviously, with some adjustments and so on. But still, it's made for that. Unfortunately, a lot of these cars kind of sit in garages, and they're not being, to me.
Yes.
It's too bad.
It's a shame, right? It really is.
They weren't built for that. Yes, I understand. To some people, it's different, value-wise, whatever. I get it, but drive these cars, guys. Come on. I mean, really. Do that once in a while.
Do it once in a while, baby. Man, when you bang it in second, it really hits.
Well, I've sat and driven Ferraris. I've driven. Those are very fun cars. They're exciting cars. I think you have to get to the Stradales to really get to this kind of, let's just say, feel, and any overall feel of the vehicles. A friend of mine up in Connecticut had a 360, still has a 360 Stradale, and I think that's the car that You get in it, you feel everything. Obviously, that the screaming Ferrari V8 is, in its own. So
I mean, the 458, right? I mean, it's a phenomenal motor.
Cars. Yeah, they're beautiful. It's just, it's more, it's more a GT. I think they progressed into more GT modes than really the analog Ferraris of, like I said, the challenge cars or the Stradale cars. So I think Porsche's really onto something when they started the GT program, which is technically the old RS cars progression, right? So
I agree. I agree.
It really is special.
I think they understood their market. They understood the perfect race and GT, and finding the right middle ground there better than probably any other manufacturer by far.
Yeah. I think so too. I think when they decided to, I think that one of the smartest thing they did obviously was to bring the car to the US, because it's one of their biggest markets, if not the biggest market. I was a little bit surprised that they didn't bring the first GT3s in here, but I get it. The company was in a different status back then. They were still climbing out of that hole that they were in, that they dug themselves into the 90s, mid 90s or so.
That's the thing people don't realize. They had challenges as a company.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, if you look at them today, you would have thought that everything's been hunky-dory.
Yeah.
That was not the case.
It was not. So Porsche was in big trouble in the early to mid 90s. The 911 was sort of the bread and butter, but it wasn't selling. They sold, I think they finally hit a low point, and I could be off on the year, 93, 94 or so, or somewhere in the mid 90s. They sold 8, 9, 10,000 cars. I mean, that's nothing
in total.
In total,
yeah.
Yes. But you got to remember, they didn't have the lineup that they do today. So there was no Cayenne, there was no Panamera, there was no Boxster, there was none of that. So you had the 911. It's like, yeah, you're going to need to bring something else to the market to sort of, make some money too, and not have the company die. And it almost did, because the rumors were that Mercedes was very close of taking over. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard, and living in Europe, you hear things differently than you do here sometimes. But anyway, the Boxster, and I know the 911 guys are not going to like to hear this.
The Boxster changed the game for them.
But the Boxster really came about and put this company in a completely different direction.
Yep.
If you want to say it saved it, I get it. It's fine. You don't have to be that. You don't have to say that. But let me tell you something. The Boxster did wonders for this company. It really did. So after that, you're talking about the Cayenne and so on, and kind of the rest is history. But
love it.
Yeah.
I think you're right on the money. I really do.
It's a special. Everybody has their brand. I know I can sound biased, but
what do you think? This would be fun for the guys. What do you think makes a Porsche owner? What do you think makes them different than Corvettes and McLarens and like Aston Martin?
We tend to be younger and better looking. I mean, that's sort of number one.
Well, you definitely are. I don't know about that. I've been to a few Porsche Club meets.
Kidding. I think each brand has its enthusiasts. I think what maybe makes Porsche guys different, from what I've seen, is the experience of the overall car, and they appreciate the overall car, the engineering, the suspension, the sound of the engine, the handling. I mean, things like that. And I think some of the other brands maybe it's like, wow, it's got a humongous motor with 1,000 horsepower. That's great if that's your thing. I think Porsche drivers are more about driving and experiencing the car on an entire level, not just, oh my God, it's got 500 horsepower or 600 horsepower, whatever. It's how much can you use it, how much obviously fun it is.
And that's the other thing that I love about Porsche.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, you don't freaking need 700 horsepower. 800 horsepower, like some of these McLarens and these that they're getting up to, and the Lamborghinis. It's like, seriously,
it's nice
to
have.
What the fuck are you gonna do with it?
But how many times are you really gonna, first of all, use it, and where can you use it? Nowadays, right? Unless you're on a track. So they do talk about usable horsepower, and to me, again, once you get beyond, I don't know, 450, 500. Really, where are you gonna?
You got to go to a track, and even that, you're gonna run the track out. Like you're never gonna get the whole car.
And the funny thing is, I'm an amateur driver. Okay, that car and the capabilities of the new GT3 GT3 or a newer RS or whatever, most people will never get to those. Look at that rabbit. Never get to those capabilities of that car because they will not put in the time to learn and actually put their skill, sharpening their skills, so to speak, right? Versus like, let me put another 50 horsepower into it, another 100 horsepower into it. It's like, learn how to drive first, and then you can get the max out of that car because it's way more capable than you are. Trust me.
I completely agree.